Welcome XRP family. How are you all doing, guys? I hope you guys have an amazing day. Today we have a special episode talking about Fringcoin and actually talking about the CBDC white paper of Ripple. So stay tuned for the whole video so you will see how I connect the dots with this being connected to the CBDC white paper and actually showing you that we are on the brink of transformation, that we're on the brink of changing the history of money. It's gonna be very interesting, guys, so stay the whole video. Let's take a look at this episode of Simpsons, which is well known among the XRP community, and I think it's very interesting what the Simpsons did here. They actually gave us a glimpse of a prediction, and I think it has to do with XRP. As you can already see on this episode, here's Ripple Labs. As we know, Ripple was always called Ripple Labs. Now here you can see some science stuff, and this was also iconic with Ripple. So it's very interesting. Let's take a look at the episode, and I will give you an explanation of what it means and how it's connected to the CBDC white paper of Ripple. Let's take a look, guys.
Beloved scientist, Mr. Jim Parsons.
People think I'm a nerd, but I'm actually super cool. That's why I'm here to talk about the really cool subject of distributed consensus-based cryptocurrency. Kachinga. Could a nerd do that? I don't think so.
Now this is actually already some science. They say, can a nerd do that? And he said at the beginning, I am a nerd, but I'm actually pretty cool. What does that mean? That means that people who invest in cryptocurrencies are not just regular people. Mostly it's like nerd stuff because it's not open to all the people. Not everyone understands cryptocurrency at this point. So that's why they are considered nerds, but actually they're cool because they made a lot of money by investing in it. This is the deeper message behind what he's saying as I am a nerd, but I'm actually super cool. And now he's saying, can a nerd do that? He has a very new motorbike, so let's take a look.
For cryptocurrency to work, we need a record of every transaction that occurs. These are recorded in what's called a distributed ledger.
I'm a consensus of shared and synchronized.
Now note that he said everything has to be registered for a cryptocurrency to work. Now we can see with the SEC that XRP is going through regulation. Why is that? Because they cannot use Bitcoin. Not everything is registered. It's more anonymous. With the distributed ledger technology, so with the XRP ledger, everything is registered as a transaction if a CBDC is launched on the XRPL. That's why he's saying for a cryptocurrency to work, actually this needs to be done. It needs to be regulated, and it needs to have some kind of transaction registration, so there will not be criminal activities. As you can see, they are very clearly explaining how XRP is working, and they're saying for it to work, it has to be like this.
Digital data spread across multiple platforms from Shanghai to Grenada. Each day I'm closer to being cash of the future. Not in your wallet, I'm in your computer. Oh yeah!
When you use the currency, the transaction is recorded in the ledger.
Can you see, guys? He gave his ledger to make a transaction. Now, this represents someone actually who did an investment in XRP, and now he's very rich, so he's buying a jet ski. He just gives his ledger to pay for the jet ski. As you can see, it's very easy, but you have to be giving your ledger so the transaction is being registered. Can you see how this is all falling into one place, guys? Let's take a deep look.
Recorded in the ledger.
I can dig it.
And when one ledger book gets filled up, we add to a chain of previous books. That's the blockchain.
Later, glitches.
If you'd like to learn more about how cryptocurrencies...
Now they show this very short. Like, if you're watching this episode and you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, you're not even noticing that there is very interesting stuff going on in here. Let's take a look what it says. Cryptocurrency is a system that does not rely on a non-cryptocurrency central authority, but instead relies on a non-centralized distributed consensus of cryptocurrency ownership. Using the word cryptocurrency repeatedly when defining cryptocurrency makes it seem like we have a cryptocurrency novice's understanding of cryptocurrency. Well, that is total pile of cryptocurrency. In this system, rules are defined for the creation of additional units of cryptocurrency. They can be generated by fiat, like traditional currency, or just thrown around randomly or all given to LeBron. But for some reason, these crypto guys are really into computers. So we have a big buildings full of energy gobbling air-conditioned computers solving useless math problems. Now here you can see they are talking about Bitcoin. Useless math problems. This is done in China. And this is what they say. It's useless because it uses a lot of energy. This will not be the future money. But now we can't have straws. Also, we know who Satoshi is, but we're not telling. So this is very interesting. You can already see that they're talking about XRP, guys, because they are talking about distributed consensus of cryptocurrency ownership. And here we have big buildings full of energy gobbling air conditioned computers. And we know that in this time, now this episode was a while back, we know that this time Bitcoin is having a hard time because of the energy. It's using almost the same energy as whole countries, Argentina for example.
Work, here's everything else you need to know. And goodbye from me, super cool Jim Parsons. It went in! 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 You saw it! It went in!
So will Frinkcoin finally be the invention that makes me rich? Or
Makes me rich. So will cryptocurrency finally make me rich? This is actually what he is saying. Now I actually want to just go to the white paper of CBDCs by Ripple itself and actually make the connection what it all means. The future of CBDCs. Let's take a look, guys. The rise of CBDCs. Now here we can see the future of fiat. Okay. Central banks are issuing their own digital currency is a natural evolution of how we exchange value, but that does not mean that CBDC development should simply follow the old pathways. Our existing currencies were created in a much less globalized world and are not designed for efficient exchange. Now this is so true, guys. The financial system is so old that this is just a natural thing to do, and it's normal to actually explore these CBDCs, and that almost all the banks are now creating their own CBDC, because we can see that there is a lot of problems and it has to do with inefficient financial system. And this is what's happening now. We are making that transition to a new financial system, and XRP is involved in everything. While most markets are exploring CBDCs that solve specific domestic challenges, each central bank also needs to implement a holistic strategy that enables their CBDC to interact in the global market efficiently and ensure it can scale and evolve to meet future requirements. Now here is actually a map of all the countries that are exploring CBDCs. Now you can see how many. 80% of central banks are actively exploring CBDCs. Now we are much further than that. In my previous videos, I showed a map that there are countries who are actually launched and actually on the brink of launching a CBDC. Now you can see Canada, whole Europe. It's crazy. Thailand, China. You can see, guys, that this is going very fast, very, very fast. Almost the whole world actually is making that switch as we are talking. They cannot do it in one time. It has to be very cautious, because if they do it in one time, everything will collapse. So they're doing it very cautiously and very slowly. And that's why we have this crazy pandemic going on and everything that is actually messing up with the financial system. because we're going through that transition, and that cannot be very easy. Despite the many benefits of CBDCs, most central banks are understandably cautious about pursuing real-world initiatives. Everything from how people pay bills and buy groceries to how businesses transact and governments are run depends on a stable financial system. Now, this is exactly why they are taking it very slow. Now, you can see the SEC, they are postponing, because it takes time to make this transition. Once it's finally in place, everything will change. Everything will change. CBDC initiatives raise many challenges for central banks, who must balance the desire for transformation with the need to maintain stability on a global scale. As we know, let's take a look at this. If CBDCs are cheaper, faster, more secure for users, we should explore it. If it's going to contribute to a better monetary sovereignty, better autonomy, we should explore it. If it's going to facilitate cross-border payments, we should explore it. So this is actually that the Christine Lagarde said this. She's from the European Central Bank, and they are actually now making a digital euro. It will take some time before this is all released, but we know that XRP will be the bridge currency connecting all of this. Now, we saw in the episode of Simpsons that they talked about the future of money. I'm not going to be in your wallet. I'm going to be digital. I'm not going to be a nerd. The guy is paying with a ledger. Now, this is all coming. It will take time, maybe 4 or 5 years, but this is coming, guys. And if you wait 4 or 5 years, you're going to be way too late, because the cryptocurrency space is exploding right now. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We are very early, because cryptocurrencies are not handling all the money yet. If they handle all the money, if cryptocurrency is everywhere, we're going to see a big market capitalization of trillions of dollars. Now, only Bitcoin reached $1 trillion. This is the only one. I think we're going to have much more cryptocurrencies reaching trillions of dollars of market capitalization within the next 5 years, definitely. Connecting across borders. Now, this is something very important. To make a payment from country to country is so old-fashioned that it takes pre-funding from a bank, which they lose a lot of money on, which is just stupid. It's a very old system. So this is definitely gonna change within now, and I think a year, this will definitely change. By 2024, at least half of the world's population is expected to use digital wallets for transactions that will be valued at more than 9 trillion annually. Now imagine XRP is involved in all of this. Now guys, they don't just set it there. This is all based on numbers, on growing numbers of using digital money. That's what it's based on, what they're saying here. This is very important to understand. Interoperability. For a digital currency to have any utility to people and businesses, it needs to coexist and interact with other payment schemes in that domestic market. The next level of interoperability for CBDCs is the ability to work for a global transactions. Without seamless cross-border functionality, most CBDC products will significantly underachieve their potential. And this is true. They have to have a system where you can easily make a transaction from another CBDC to another CBDC. Now, this is only possible if you have a bridge asset, which is XRP. It's much bigger than we think. Just as the global internet thrived by early agreement on common protocols like TCP/IP, so too should central banks start coordinating on CBDC standards to cover basic functions, including transaction level operations such as escrow and hash time locks, identity and addressing schemes, flexible routing to determine most efficient ways of transmission. Now you can see, guys, that it's really happening. It's really happening. All of this is happening. 80% of the world is exploring CBDCs. And that's what we're waiting for. A neutral bridge asset can support healthy alternative liquidity markets that will allow for frictionless and cost-effective value movement between various CBDCs in real time. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more. Cheers.